Hi everyone, I'm Daniela, and today we're making the ultimate sour cream coffee cake. This recipe comes from my best friend Andrea's mom, Marlene. She's tweaked it over many years, and I'm so excited to share it with you today. So let's get started.
You'll find a list of ingredients and measurements in the description below.
Preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius or 360 degrees Fahrenheit.
To a bowl, add 170 grams, 3/4 cups of softened butter. To this, add 200 grams, 1 cup of sugar. Cream this together until it's really nice and fluffy. As always, I like to give it a helping hand by scraping down the sides of my bowl. You don't need a stand mixer for this, you can just as easily make this with a hand mixer. To the butter and sugar mix, add in 3 eggs, one at a time, making sure to incorporate each one before adding the next. In goes 12 grams, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. Now set that aside while we mix together our dry ingredients. To 360 grams, 3 cups of flour, add in 10 grams, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 7 grams, 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda, and 1.5 grams, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Whisk it together until it's well combined. Now we're going to alternate our dry ingredients and our sour cream. You always want to start and finish with your dry ingredients. So add in 1/3 of your flour mix, and then add in half of your sour cream. We're using 500 milliliters, 2 cups in total. Add in another 1/3 of your flour mix, and then add in the remaining sour cream. And then finally add in the last of your flour. And just stir to combine until all of the flour has been absorbed. If you're a little bit nervous about overmixing it, you can do this bit by hand. That's perfect. I'll scrape down the sides of the bowl and just give it a final stir with my spatula. We're going to set this aside and make our streusel. You want 75 grams, half a cup of finely chopped walnuts. It's hard to find chopped walnuts where I live, so I'm just going to go ahead and chop them as finely as I can. To our bowl, we'll add our finely chopped walnuts, 110 grams or half a cup of brown sugar, and 6 grams, 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. Give that a good mix so it all comes together. I'm going to butter the base and sides of my pan. I'm using a 10-inch by 4-inch tube pan.
You could also do this in 2 large loaf pans or 4 smaller loaf pans.
Make sure you butter it really well so that your coffee cake doesn't stick. Pour in 1/3 of your batter as evenly as possible. I like to dollop it around the pan and then spread it with my spatula. Then sprinkle on 1/3 of your streusel mix. Add in another 1/3 of your batter, being careful not to pull up or mix into that streusel. Sprinkle with the second 1/3 of your streusel and then top with your remaining batter. Spread it out as evenly as possible and then sprinkle with the final 1/3 of your streusel. Now into the oven.
Once the cake goes into the oven, we're going to turn that temperature down to 175 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're going to bake it for 1 hour.
While it's warm, run a knife around the edge of your pan, both on the outside and the center. Now let it cool completely. Lift your cake out of the pan and then carefully run your knife between the base and the bottom of your cake. And then using a plate to catch it, quickly flip your cake over. Now using the same method in reverse, transfer it to your serving tray. You could drizzle this with an icing sugar glaze if you wanted to, but it really doesn't need it. Let's cut ourselves a slice.
This cake is perfect for freezing. Wrap it up in some cling film and then in aluminum foil and pop them in your freezer. You can make these in advance, especially if you want to give them as a gift. If you love cake, why not try my English Victoria sponge? Or give my Nonna's apple cake a try. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.